What if I told you that silence is not weakness, but one of the most powerful spiritual weapons available to God's chosen? In a world obsessed with sharing every moment, every success, every thought, those who walk with God must learn the sacred art of holding back. There is profound strength in holy silence. It is not just a practice of discretion, it is an act of faith. Silence conceals, protects, and preserves the treasures God deposits in the hearts of His people. To remain silent is not to hide in fear, but to guard the holy with reverence. This message is not for the masses. It is for the few, the ones set apart, chosen, marked by God for a purpose that stretches beyond what eyes can see or ears can hear. If you are among those chosen ones, this message is for you. Let us walk together through 5 sacred areas of life that must remain veiled in discretion if you wish to preserve the anointing and calling on your life. Let's begin with the first. 1. Your future plans and divine dreams. Proverbs 29:11 says, "A fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back." When God places a vision in your heart, it is like a seed planted in secret. It requires time, nurturing, and protection to grow. Yet many rush to announce the promise before it has taken root. Your dreams are not just ideas, they are divine assignments. The enemy, limited though he is, works by inference. He listens, watches, and calculates based on what we say and do. When you speak prematurely about the future God has shown you, you expose it to spiritual sabotage. Mary, the mother of Jesus, received one of the most extraordinary revelations in history. And what did she do? She pondered it in her heart. She carried the promise silently until the fullness of time. There's a lesson there for us all. Dreams in their early stages are fragile, like infants that must be kept warm, fed, and hidden from harm. When you speak too soon, you invite skepticism, misunderstanding, or envy from those who neither see your vision nor understand your calling. Learn this discipline. Silence until strength. Privacy until preparation. Trust that what God births in secret, He will reveal in power when the time is right. In the meantime, let prayer be your platform, not people. Speak to the Lord about your dreams, not to the world. Let His timing, not your anxiety, determine when the vision is ready to be shared. 2. The inner life of your family. 1 Peter 4:8 reminds us, "Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins." Your family is your first ministry. Your spouse, your children, your parents. These relationships are sacred ground. Yet today, many broadcast every argument, every flaw, every struggle to strangers who neither care nor help. The chosen must protect their homes like a fortress. What happens within your walls is not meant for the world. Every family will go through storms, disagreements, and seasons of struggle. But not every storm needs to be televised. Do not air your pain for public sympathy. Do not offer your loved ones as fodder for gossip. People will judge what they don't understand, and worse, they'll speak death over what God is trying to heal. The enemy is always looking for a crack in your household to sow division. Don't hand him the blueprint. Instead, be discerning. Seek counsel only from those who are spiritually mature, trusted, and anchored in confidentiality. Often the most redemptive conversations happen behind closed doors, soaked in prayer, rather than over digital platforms. Think of Joseph. When he learned Mary was with child, he chose to handle the matter privately. And because of that choice, God visited him with clarity. Privacy creates space for divine intervention. Family matters require grace, wisdom, and discretion. Your silence may be the soil in which healing and restoration take root. 3. Your early breakthroughs and victories. Proverbs 21:5 teaches, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." There is something intoxicating about victory, especially when it comes after a long wait. A new job, a business breakthrough, a prophetic word fulfilled. It's only natural to want to share it. But for the chosen ones, restraint is wisdom. Your first breakthrough is not your final arrival. It is a foundation, not a fortress. Speaking too soon can invite resistance you're not yet prepared to handle. Enemies awaken. Envy stirs. The spotlight you seek may expose you to pressures your faith hasn't matured to manage. Look at King David. After slaying Goliath, he did not crown himself king overnight. He remained under authority, waiting, growing, hiding in caves, until God opened the throne room to him. Premature exposure can kill potential. What begins in celebration can end in sabotage if you haven't learned the virtue of timing. Establish your roots before you reveal your fruit. A tree that bears fruit too early may be broken by the wind. So let your growth be proven. Let your success deepen in silence. And when you speak, let it be from a place of unshakable maturity. This is not about hiding blessings. It's about guarding them until they are strong enough to bless others. 4. Your financial standing and possessions. Proverbs 13:11 declares, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." In an era where worth is measured in likes and luxury, God calls his chosen to a higher standard, quiet stewardship. Never boast about your earnings, investments, or material gain. Such talk not only invites envy, but exposes you to unnecessary spiritual and legal warfare. Lawsuits, manipulation, greed, even theft follow those who parade their prosperity without discernment. Let your financial journey be one of humility. Prosperity in God's kingdom is never about show. It's about trust, responsibility, and impact. When God blesses you financially, he does so not to elevate your ego, but to expand your ability to give, to build, to support others in secret. Real wealth in the kingdom is not just what you have, but what you can release without fear. Avoid the snare of ostentation. Live simply, give generously, and manage privately. Even among family, be cautious. Not every relative understands stewardship, and sometimes sharing too much can lead to strained relationships or false expectations. The wise quietly build, invest, and grow, not for recognition, but for responsibility. Let your bank account be between you and your God. 5. Your sacred encounters with the divine. Matthew 7:6 warns, "Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine." Some moments are too sacred for words. A dream from God, a prophetic whisper, a vision in the night, an angelic encounter. These are holy deposits, not content for casual conversation. Paul, in 2 Corinthians 12, spoke of revelations so profound, he said they were unspeakable. John, the Revelator, was commanded to seal up what he heard from heaven. And Mary again kept her angelic visitation to herself, until it was time. Why? Because not every ear is pure. Not every heart is ready. Sharing spiritual encounters with the wrong audience can invite ridicule, misinterpretation, or even spiritual attack. Some revelations are still developing, like a child in the womb. Premature exposure can damage what was meant to be nurtured. So wait. Incubate the vision. Let the experience transform you before it informs others. God will show you when and with whom to share your encounters. Until then, keep them tucked in your spirit. Silence is not shame. It is reverence. Your intimacy with God is your greatest treasure. Protect it like a hidden jewel. In a world that treats the sacred as spectacle, your silence speaks volumes. In a world that urges us to be seen, heard, and praised, there is quiet strength in remaining hidden. For those chosen by God, silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the shield that guards your calling, the soil where dreams take root, and the space where faith matures without distraction. When you keep sacred things tucked safely in the secret place, you are not withholding out of fear but honoring what is holy. The more God entrusts to you, the more he calls you to protect it, not with pride, but with reverence. Hidden seasons are not wasted. They are sacred preparations for what's to come. So hold your vision with care. Guard your family in love. Celebrate victories with humility. Steward your resources in silence. And treasure your divine encounters with awe. In due time, what is done in secret will bear fruit in the open. If this message spoke to your spirit, I invite you to become part of this growing community. subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your presence here means more than you know. Thank you for walking this path of wisdom and faith with us. May you be richly blessed in every hidden and holy place of your life. Have you ever felt like your life was set apart? As if there was something different about your journey, something deeper tugging at your soul? You're not alone. This isn't a coincidence. If you've been carrying questions in your heart, why do I feel so different? Why do I face battles others don't understand? Why do I feel drawn to something I can't quite name? Then hear this truth. You were chosen, not just created, but called. There's a divine design over your life, a holy calling marked by purpose, pain, preparation, and power. The Bible is filled with people who were called before they even knew who they were. And like them, you too may already be walking the path of the chosen, without fully realizing it. Today, we're going to reveal 7 unmistakable signs that God has placed His hand on your life. If these signs resonate with your story, then be encouraged. Your journey is not random. Your trials are not wasted, and your purpose is far greater than you can imagine. Sign 1. A deep, unshakable sense of purpose. Do you ever sense that you were born for something greater? Something beyond the ordinary patterns of life? While others seem content chasing comfort, your heart craves meaning. There's a longing inside you that refuses to settle, a quiet but constant voice whispering, "You were made for more." That's not imagination, that's calling. This persistent inner pull isn't just a personality trait. It's a sign that God has marked your life with divine purpose. In Jeremiah 1:5, God declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This means your identity and assignment were spoken into existence long before you took your first breath. Consider Joseph. As a young man, he dreamed of leadership and influence, but his journey was filled with betrayal, slavery, and prison. Still, the dream remained. It never faded, because it wasn't his. It was God's vision for him. And in time, that purpose was fulfilled beyond anything he could have imagined. If your spirit feels restless in the ordinary, if purpose keeps calling even in your lowest moments, take heart. That unshakable yearning is the first and clearest sign. You were chosen for something extraordinary. Sign 2. You face fierce spiritual battles. When you carry divine purpose, opposition becomes inevitable. The battles you face aren't random. They're spiritual. The moment you step closer to your calling, resistance rises. It can come through betrayal, unexpected losses, or seasons of hardship that seem impossible to explain. But here's the truth. If the enemy is fighting you fiercely, it's because your life is a threat to darkness. Story reminds us of this reality. After receiving dreams from God, he was met not with applause, but with betrayal. Thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, imprisoned without cause. His path looked like anything but destiny. Yet behind every setback was a setup for something greater. The enemy tried to bury him, but God used every attack to elevate him. The same might be true in your life. The pressure you've felt, the spiritual weight you carry, even the silent battles no one sees, they all point to a deeper truth. You are chosen, and the enemy knows it. Remember, the battle isn't a sign of abandonment. It's confirmation of your calling. When the warfare intensifies, it means your breakthrough is near. Stand firm. You're not alone. Heaven is fighting for you. Sign 3. A pull toward righteousness. You can't explain. No matter how far you wander, something keeps pulling you back to God. You've tried to fit in. You've chased what the world calls success. But in your heart, you know, it's not enough. That discomfort you feel in sin, that restlessness and compromise, it's the voice of the Holy Spirit, relentless in his pursuit of you. King David failed. He fell hard. Adultery, deception, even murder. But what made him different wasn't perfection. It was conviction. In Acts 13:22, God still called him a man after my own heart. Why? Because when you are chosen, you can't stay in rebellion. Your spirit grieves when you walk away from God. His love refuses to let you go. You've seen this in your life. The nights you cried, the times you tried to run, the moments you wanted to quit, yet grace caught you. That tug toward righteousness, even in your weakness, is not normal. It's a holy mark. It's proof that you are His. Sign 4. Miraculous provision in impossible moments. There are moments in life when, by all logic, you should have fallen apart. You didn't have the answers, the resources, or even the strength to keep going. But somehow, you did. Doors opened when you had no key. Help came when no one knew you were in need. These moments aren't coincidences. They are divine interventions. When God chooses someone, He also provides for them. That doesn't mean the road is easy, but it does mean you will never walk it alone. God's provision often shows up in unexpected ways, not as abundance, but as just enough to keep moving forward. Consider Elijah in 1 Kings 17. In the midst of famine, with no food or water in sight, God sent ravens to feed him. When the brook dried up, He led Elijah to a widow whose tiny supply miraculously never ran out. God didn't remove the hardship, but He sustained him through it. Look back over your life. The bills that somehow got paid, the opportunities that appeared when all seemed lost, the people who showed up right on time. These aren't small blessings. They're signs that God's hand is on you. Where there is purpose, there will always be provision. Sign 5. You feel the burden of others deeply. There's something different about the way your heart responds to the world around you. While others can turn a blind eye to suffering, you feel it deeply. Pain that isn't your own often weighs on your spirit. You see someone hurting, and it lingers. You hear of injustice or loss, and it stirs something in you that won't let you stay silent. This compassion is more than empathy. It's evidence of a calling. Those who are chosen often carry the heart of God. They don't just observe brokenness. They are moved to act, to pray, to weep, to stand in the gap for others. Nehemiah is a powerful example. Though he lived in privilege as the king's cupbearer, his heart broke when he heard Jerusalem's walls were in ruins. He wept, fasted, and prayed, not because he had to, but because he was called. You may have felt this too. Praying for people who never asked, giving even when it cost you, or feeling spiritually stirred by things that others overlook. That burden is not weakness. It's a sacred trust. When you carry the weight of others with love and compassion, you're not just feeling, you're reflecting the very heart of God. Sign 6. Divine separation from certain people. There are moments when people leave without a trace. Could there be a deeper purpose behind it? People you once trusted drifted away. Friendships faded. Opportunities vanished. At first, it may have felt like rejection, but in truth, it was protection, a divine separation, not to harm you, but to prepare you. When God chooses someone, He doesn't just call them, He also clears the path for their calling. And sometimes, that means removing people who can't go where He's taking you. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next season. Some would distract you, delay you, or even derail you from your purpose. Moses had to leave the palace before he could lead a nation. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, but that betrayal positioned him for elevation. What looked like abandonment was actually alignment. God placing him exactly where he needed to be. You may not understand the losses right now. You may grieve the friendships that faded or the connections that broke. But one day you'll look back and realize, every closed door was a step forward. When God removes, He's also making room. Separation isn't the end. It's the beginning of something greater. Sign 7. You've been attacked but never defeated. You've been through storms that should have broken you. There were moments when the pain was too much, when the betrayal cut too deep, when the pressure almost crushed your spirit. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing. That's not by accident. That's evidence. The enemy has thrown everything at you. Through circumstances, people, even your own thoughts. He's tried to wear you down, silence your voice, and make you question your worth. But no matter how fierce the battle, you've never been destroyed. Why? Because God's hand has never left you. The Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 4:8-9, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed." That's the life of the chosen. Attacked but never defeated, wounded but still worshiping. Look at Job. He lost everything, but his story didn't end in ashes. It ended in restoration, in double blessing. Your survival is not weakness, it's proof of God's power. If you're still standing, it means God isn't finished. What's ahead is greater than what's behind. Your endurance is the final and most powerful sign. You are chosen, and your story is far from over. If you've seen your reflection in these 7 signs, if your heart whispered yes while listening, then know this truth deep within your soul. You were never meant to live a life of mere survival. You were chosen for more. Your pain has had a purpose. Your battles have built strength. Your longing for something greater wasn't a dream. It was a divine reminder of your calling. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Heaven has seen every tear, heard every prayer, and marked every step. Now is the time to stop doubting and start walking boldly in who you were created to be. You are not just going through life. You are being prepared to change lives. What God has started in you, He will bring to completion. And if this message spoke to your spirit, if you felt seen, understood, or even awakened, thank you for watching. You are part of a growing community of people stepping into their divine purpose. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment about which sign resonated with you most, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss another message that speaks life into your journey. Your story is just beginning. Stay close, stay faithful, and never forget, you were chosen for something far greater. Have you ever felt different? Not just unique in your interests or talents, but deeply different. Like the rhythm of life beats differently in your soul. Perhaps, in the quiet moments of solitude, you've sensed an unseen presence gently nudging you, reminding you that your journey holds a deeper purpose. If you've ever had that unmistakable inner whisper urging you to look beyond the surface, you might be one of the rare few, the chosen ones. In every era, across every culture, there have always been individuals who walk a path that others cannot see. They are often misunderstood, even isolated, but they shine with a light the world cannot ignore. These are the ones marked by something divine, something extraordinary. Today, we're going to uncover 10 powerful spiritual signs that often mark a soul chosen by higher forces. As we explore each one, allow yourself to reflect deeply. You may just discover that you are far more powerful, more called, and more spiritually aligned than you ever imagined. Sign 1. Unexplainable synchronicities. The language of the universe. There are moments in life that feel strangely perfect, too timely, too precise to be mere coincidence. For the chosen ones, these moments happen often. They're called synchronicities, and they serve as subtle signs that the universe is in conversation with your soul. You might be thinking of someone out of the blue and just then they call. Or a rare symbol appears repeatedly, in books, on signs, even in dreams, until its deeper meaning becomes impossible to ignore. These experiences feel magical, but they are more than that. They are markers of alignment. For those on a higher spiritual path, synchronicities appear when something important is unfolding. They are quiet nudges from the divine, steering you toward truth, healing, or clarity. Over time, you begin to recognize these moments as part of a larger tapestry. They remind you that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are being gently guided, step, by something greater. Sign 2. Heightened empathy. Feeling the world in your bones. Being chosen often means carrying more than your own emotions. It means sensing the heartbeats of others as if they were your own. This is the gift and the burden of heightened empathy. You don't just notice someone's sadness, you feel it, heavy and real. Their joy becomes your joy, their pain, your ache. In crowded spaces, this can become overwhelming. The weight of unspoken thoughts, silent struggles, and hidden wounds floods your senses, sometimes without warning. But this empathy isn't limited to people. Many chosen souls feel deeply connected to animals, plants, and even spaces. A wilting flower may stir sorrow in your chest. A distressed animal may draw you in like a magnet. This connection isn't imagined. It's intuitive, spiritual, and very real. Though it can be draining, this empathy is also a sacred gift. It gives you the power to comfort, to understand without words, and to heal simply by being present. The world feels deeply because you feel deeply, and in that lies your strength. Sign 3. Vivid prophetic dreams, messages from the beyond. For many chosen ones, nightfall marks not an end, but a beginning. While the world sleeps, their spirit awakens, stepping into a dream realm rich with meaning and mystery. These dreams are not vague or forgettable. They're vivid, emotionally charged, and often linger long after waking. You might wake with a racing heart, a clear memory, or a deep sense that something important just happened. And more often than not, it did. Prophetic dreams can show you places you've never visited, until you do. They echo future conversations, unlock buried emotions, or bring messages through symbols, signs, or even loved ones who've passed on. These aren't random scenes. They are sacred messages, whispers from a higher realm, wrapped in the language of imagery and feeling. To dream like this is to live between two worlds. And for the chosen, both are equally real, equally meaningful. Sign 4. Communication with spirit guides. You are never alone. There are times when you sense a quiet presence nearby, gentle, calming, and undeniably real. It's not fear you feel, but peaceful. For many chosen ones, this is the first sign of connection with a spirit guide. These guides aren't figments of the mind. They are wise, unseen companions assigned to support your journey. You may first notice them in meditation, prayer, or silence, a thought that brings clarity, a feeling that you're not alone. As your awareness deepens, so does the connection. You might begin to notice symbols, repeating numbers, or sensations that seem to arrive right when you need them most. Some guides walk with you for a lifetime, others appear during key moments of growth. This sacred bond doesn't require perfection, just openness. And when you truly listen, you'll discover you've never been walking this path alone. Sign 5. Seeing auras, the colors of the soul. Some chosen ones possess a rare and beautiful gift, the ability to see what lies beyond the surface. They see auras, the subtle energy fields that surround all living beings. At first, it might appear as a soft glow or a flicker of color around someone's body. But with time, it becomes more vivid. Colors tied to emotions, health, and even spiritual state. A vibrant blue may signal calm wisdom, a fiery red, intense energy, a murky gray, hidden pain. These colors are not just visual. They are emotional signatures, revealing what words often cannot express. To see auras is to perceive the unseen truth in others. It brings both insight and responsibility. In crowded spaces, the swirl of energies can be overwhelming, but with grounding, this gift becomes a powerful tool for healing and connection. Through this lens, chosen ones see the soul, not just the skin, and in that vision, they offer light. Sign 6. Inexplicable physical sensations. The body awakens. For the chosen ones, spiritual awakening often begins in the body. Long before the mind understands, the body feels. You may experience strange, unexplainable sensations, tingling in your hands, warmth in your chest, pressure on your forehead, or sudden waves of energy flowing through your spine. These aren't random. They are signs that your energy centers, your chakras, are activating. Some feel these shifts during meditation or moments of deep emotion. Others experience them in nature or during sudden bursts of clarity. You might feel a flutter in your heart when truth is spoken, or a chill when entering a spiritually charged space. These sensations aren't cause for fear. They are confirmations. Your spirit is waking up, and your body is responding. To feel this way is to be alive in a deeper sense. The physical becomes a gateway to the spiritual. And in that awakening, you begin to walk your path with greater awareness, guided from within. Sign 7. Repeating numbers, angelic whispers and digits. Why does 1111 keep showing up? Could it be more than coincidence? Not a coincidence, but a quiet nudge from the universe. Or notice the same number sequence, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 7, 7, 7, following you everywhere? For the chosen ones, these aren't coincidences. They are messages, gentle whispers from the divine, delivered in numbers. Each repeating sequence carries meaning. 111 may signal a new beginning. 333 might remind you of spiritual alignment. 555 often points to transformation ahead. These numbers tend to appear in moments of doubt, decision, or awakening, as if the universe is saying, "You're not alone. Keep going." Over time, chosen souls develop an inner sensitivity to these signs. They begin to understand that numbers are more than math. They're spiritual codes, woven into everyday life. When you start to notice these patterns, don't ignore them. Pause. Reflect. You are being guided, quietly, constantly, by a language older than words and as precise as light itself. Sign 8. Deep connection to nature. Earth as sacred teacher. For many chosen ones, nature isn't just a place, it's a presence. There's a quiet, sacred bond that connects their spirit to the earth, the trees, the sky. Time spent in nature doesn't just refresh them, it restores them. As if the wind itself is whispering wisdom only their soul can hear. You might feel a deep love for animals, or an instinctive desire to protect forests, oceans, and all living things. Even plants may respond to your presence, thriving under your care, as though they recognize you. In moments of stillness, you may sense the heartbeat of the earth, or feel messages riding the breeze. Nature becomes your sanctuary, your teacher, and your mirror. This connection isn't random. It's a reminder that you too are part of creation. That the divine speaks not only in dreams or visions, but through sunlight, through soil, and through the sacred silence between the trees. Sign 9. Sense of greater purpose. A calling you cannot ignore. From a young age, many chosen souls carry a quiet but persistent feeling. I'm here for something more. It's not about fame or fortune. It's about meaning. Even in moments of confusion or hardship, there's an unshakable sense that your life has purpose, that you were meant to impact the world in a way only you can. This inner calling may not come with clear instructions, but it whispers in your decisions, your dreams, your restlessness. Ordinary paths may feel suffocating. Shallow conversations may drain you. You crave depth, truth, and alignment with something greater than yourself. For the chosen, this purpose isn't about personal gain. It's about service, healing, awakening, uplifting others through your unique gifts. And even when the road feels unclear, that inner pull won't let go. Because it's not just a desire, it's a divine assignment. One that's been woven into your soul since before you were born. Sign 10. Spiritual crises and awakening. Fire before flight. For many chosen ones, awakening doesn't begin in light. It begins in darkness. Before stepping into purpose, they pass through seasons of pain, loss, isolation, confusion, or emotional collapse. These spiritual crises feel like the breaking of everything, but in truth, they are the unfolding of who you really are. You may have questioned everything, your beliefs, your worth, even your place in the world. But that collapse wasn't an end. It was an invitation. Like the phoenix, you had to burn before you could fly. Through this fire, illusions fall away. What remains is your truth, your resilience, and a soul forged by flame. You begin to see with new eyes, love with deeper compassion, and rise with purpose you couldn't access before. Spiritual crises are not punishments, they are initiations. And for the chosen, they mark the moment when life stops being ordinary and starts becoming divine. If any of these signs stirred something within you, trust this. Your presence here is no coincidence. You are part of something greater, called to awaken, to heal, and to shine. Your journey may not look like anyone else's, but it is sacred, powerful, and needed. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If this message spoke to your soul, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your presence here matters, and together, we'll continue exploring the beauty, depth, and purpose of your spiritual journey.